Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Kodak Black. Now, yesterday we were talking about the fact that Kodak Black and Jackboy had been falling out, man. They had a fallout. It seems like they both had their sides. They both took to social media and discussed it. It looks like the root of it to me comes down to money and who's shining. You know what I mean? And it seems like Kodak Black and Jackboy are on opposite ends of what's important as far as the money or who should be getting the bigger bulk of it or whatnot, right? Now, Jackboy is definitely doing well in the rap game, and so is Kodak Black. But after all of that, chaos or whatnot, Kodak Black took to social media last night and got himself trending again up until this morning because he was just doing some wild stuff, man, like throwing out money, and it was a wild visual. He was even saying a lot on social media to let you know his mind state and that some people had let him down or something like that. I'm not sure if he was talking directly to Jackboy or not, but it's obvious that something was bothering him, or either he was trying to get a lot of attention. Now, before we get to the specifics, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, let's talk about this whole Kodak Black situation in the last 24 hours. First, he has a little fallout with Jackboy, right? Then, he has a situation where he's throwing money over a boat. Then, he's flushing money down the toilet. Now, all of this seems odd, man. It seems like some odd behavior, but Kodak Black has always been a bit eccentric, if you know, man. And he's interesting, and that's pretty much why a lot of people like him. Because when you look even at his album artwork or anything dealing with him artistically, it's always out there. It's always something different. You never know what you're going to get with Kodak. He changes up his hair more than an IG model. Dude, he goes from blonde. He'll have the wicks all the way out, like long wicks, and then he'll cut them down. He just does so many different things. He keeps you on edge. And I think all of this is for publicity. I think Kodak Black knows how to play with the audience, knows how to play with fans, because if you look at the clips from when he's throwing the money over the boat, and man, my apologies. For those of you who don't know, Kodak Black went on a boat last night and he posted this on his social media page, and he was on a boat and he was on the edge of the boat and he was tossing out money. And man, let's just go ahead and play the video clip. Okay, so here in the clip, you see Kodak Black, right? And you see him talking to the cameraman often. And I'm talking over this because there's no sound to this video. It was released with no sound at all, so you can't even hear what he's saying while he's throwing the money and stuff like that. Even the version on his social media page doesn't have that. And you clearly see that he's being videoed the whole time, throwing the money out there, and he's talking to the camera. It's not much, but it seems like he might be using this as a piece of either his documentary or either a piece of one of his music videos that's coming up, because we know Kodak Black does different things with the visuals, man. But obviously, he was bothered by something because the caption in the post said a lot, man. So let's look at that. Now, in the first caption of this first post, he says this right here. He says, "I broke you off when them cats wouldn't give you a dime. I ain't owe you nothing. I wanted to see you shine. You ain't never gave me. I had my own grind." You know what I mean? Basically, that's a part of a rap or a rhyme or something like that. It sounds like it's straight out of one of his songs or something like that. If it is, quote the song and the lyrics in the comments or something like that, man. But let's look at the second part. Well, first, in this, let's break this down. Do you think that he's talking about Jackboy? He's obviously not talking about Psycho Bob, because if you look on his profile, you can see that he dedicated a whole story to Psycho Bob, letting it be known that he was trying to promote his song or something that was coming up from him. And he hasn't said much about 22 G's either. So, I mean, maybe he could be talking to 22 G's as well. But I think with the current situation that he's got going on, he might be talking to Jackboy. Now, Kodak wasn't done there. He added a second post with another picture. And in the caption of that post, he said this. He said, "I was way too busy showing love. I ain't see the signs. When you needed me, I came through every time. Whether you was right or wrong, I was riding. But you envied me in the back of your mind." Dropping bars, man. So Kodak is obviously using these lyrics or whatever he is, poems, whatever you want to call this, just to get it out there that he feels the jealousy and envy closing in on him, man. He understands that he sees it, and I don't know if this is deliberately towards Jackboy, but it sounds like it is, man. It sounds like this is what's on his mind and how he feels about that situation. even though he didn't name him specifically, right? Now, Jackboy, if you ask me, man, he was humble in his approach or in his response. He seemed like even when he was talking in that video I showed in the last video I did about this, it seemed like he was, I don't know, man. He seems like he's still humbled in the situation with Kodak Black. Even though they might not be seeing eye to eye or whatever, he just wants the best experience and the most money for himself as well. He did brag on himself about how he didn't want to rap, and he got into the rap game and was just super successful and all that. But besides that, this seems like something they could patch up with a phone call. Come on, man, be real. They could fix this with a phone call. But sometimes especially with young cats, they don't want to, the pride and the ego, man, it gets in the way of things, man. They don't want to, nobody want to bend the knee, or nobody wants to at least extend the hand because they scared it might get stabbed. You know what I mean? That's an expression, not literally, but you see what I'm saying? Now, somebody who talked about this current situation, or an entity that talked about this current situation with Kodak Black, was hiphopwired.com, and they did a good write-up, man. They said a couple of things that were kind of political, and I'm not going to touch on that. But they talked about the fact that Kodak Black was free and all this wild antics he's been getting into on Instagram. Now, I'm going to pick and choose some of the finer points from this just to talk about. So it starts off talking about Kodak Black is enjoying his freedom thanks to you-know-who, and it appears that the Florida rapper hasn't learned the value of money after sitting down for a bit. And what might have been a moment of content development or just a stunt show for social media, the tunnel vision star is trending after images of him tossing several stacks from a boat surfaced online. Now, what I was thinking was, obviously this is some type of stunt, right? Obviously this is for social media. But did he go back and pick that money up afterwards? Because that boat looks like it was anchored, like it was in a still place. So did they go back and just fish that money out? I bet they did, because if it was the stack of money that he's showing in that picture, that stack is so huge it's ridiculous, man. There is no way. That'd be wild to throw all that money in the water. I'm going to say that, man. I'm going to say that. Now, the story continues by talking about this. It says, as seen on his Instagram, the rapper real name Bill K. Capri, that's what he got his name changed to, is seen being filmed by a cameraman tossing several $1,000s from the deck of a boat in what could be presumed to be somewhere in Florida. Because the thirst is real, the Instagram posts of the money tossing and the like were filled with folks with their hands folded up like cups, asking for the location of the boat and generally asking to be put on. So they're talking about people were in the comments and in the likes, basically using the emoji, the hand cup emoji, or even the praying emoji, talking about, man, put me on, man, or where's that boat? Somebody even put in the comments, drop the location of where the boat is because of how much money he tossed off the side of that boat. Now it finishes by saying the shameless acts of thirst continued across two posts from Kodak, who routinely takes shots of himself along with huge wads of cash. Despite not boasting a huge radio single, although Last Day In and Feeling Peachy are both charting records for the rapper, Kodak is still obviously raking in large amounts of money. In 2021, Kodak dropped the Haitian Boy Kodak mixtape back in May and decreed the release's low selling numbers on social media. Later, following up that project with the Happy Birthday Kodak EP that dropped earlier in June when the rapper turned 24 years of age. On Twitter, Kodak Black saw his name trending after the money tossing stunt, and we've got the reactions below. So basically, they go through a ton of reactions, and one of the funniest ones for me is Lil Duval, man. He dropped a reaction of himself scuba diving, talking about he's looking for that money that Kodak Black left in the water, man. And if he finds it, man, he can send half to me, please, because that was a lot of cash. Now, obviously, these are all stunts. Obviously, Kodak Black is gaining attention, and he wanted to be trending, and it worked, right? But, man, do y'all think there's some serious, signs somewhere else? Like, is there anything deeper here? Or are we just seeing Kodak Black play to the crowd? Now, with that, this has been your boy, Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.